Aloha and welcome to Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker. We are broadcasting live on livestream.com from the Pioneer Plaza, the studios of ThinkTech Hawaii in downtown Honolulu. This is a program about businesses, successful businesses in Hawaii. And contrary to popular thought, it is possible to have a successful business here. Before we jump into today's show, I just wanted to mention that yesterday we had a very exciting program with the Chamber of Commerce and the Small Business Administration. We had the administrator of the SBA visit us here in Honolulu, Administrator Contreras. She spent the day touring the University of Hawaii and other places in Hawaii, met a lot of people. We hosted a luncheon for her where she was joined with Senator Hirano and also with Representative Takai. We had a number of small businesses participate in the program, as well as some of the lending institutions, and we had a great dialogue on what the SBA can do to help businesses in Hawaii. So we want to thank the administrator for coming, and she's welcome to come back anytime. Today, we have two successful businessmen with us. One is Clarence Regalado, who is the branch manager for Hawaii National Bank in Pearl City. And then we also have Chad Taniguchi, who is the owner and the president of Dream Homes Hawaii. We are thankful to have you guys here, so thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us on.
Why don't we just jump right into it? And Clarence, if you can give us a little background on yourself.
Well, Reg, again, thanks for having me on. So I am the branch manager of Hawaii National Bank's Pearl City branch. I have been in the industry for close to 10 years now, 5 years at Hawaii National Bank, and, loving every second of it, working with the bank and, of course, our small business owners here in Hawaii. As far as banking goes, so I actually started at almost the bottom of the totem pole, right? We started off learning the underwritings, the bits and the nuts and bolts of everything, gradually moving up. And, for those who say that sometimes hard work doesn't pay off, well, 5 years later, I'm here.
Well, I think all of us probably began at the bottom of the totem pole at one point in our lives or our careers. But are you from Hawaii? Were you born and raised here?
I am originally from Hawaii, yes. I left Hawaii when I was 18 and went to school on the mainland. And after my education on the mainland, I went to Japan, and I lived and worked in Japan for a number of years before making the decision to move back to Hawaii about close to 10 years ago now.
Wow. So you, where'd you go to school on the mainland?
I am a graduate of Seattle University.
Very good.
Yes.
So up in the northeast or northwest part of town. Yes.
Very nice, very cold.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, lucky you live Hawaii.
Definitely.
All right. And now, Chad, I actually mispronounced the company name. It's actually Dream Home Builders. So you're in the construction business.
Yeah. Dream Home Builders is a residential general contracting company. We got licensed back in 2007. And Clarence mentioned about starting at the bottom of the totem pole and working his way up. I'm another example of that. My dad was a builder, so I'm a second generation general contractor. And I started working at a very young age. And I remember one day seeing this really cool toy on TV and asking my dad, "Hey, Dad, can I get this?" And he said, "Sure you can. Let's go ahead and teach you how to work for it." So from then on, after school, on weekends, holidays, I would go and help Dad with his business.
And what kind of work did you do in those days?
Well, talk about starting from the bottom of the totem pole, pulling nails, throwing away rubbish, and working my way up, from there.
Did you ever have to carry a sheetrock?
Yeah. When I was strong enough to, absolutely. That was sheetrock, pushing a wheelbarrow full of cement. Absolutely, we've done it all.
That was one of the jobs I had when I was in high school, was carrying sheetrock up to the second and third floors of apartment buildings.
Oh, there you go. That's a good workout.
Oh, God. Yeah, but so you started at the bottom and you worked your way up, and you must have been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah, I would say I'm going on about 20 years in the industry.
Wow.
Very good.
After high school, I left Dad's company and joined another firm and worked my way up through many different firms in the construction industry. Went through the apprenticeship program with the Hawaii Carpenters Union, and a long story short, found myself, after I got those credentials, helping Dad run and manage his business. After a few years of doing that, he said, son, I'm gonna semi-retire. So it's about time you go out and get your own license, and that started Dream Home Builders.
Well, that's a great way for that to work. I think by going outside the family business and getting that experience and getting credentialed actually helped, you know, maybe a little with your credibility when you went back to help Dad with his business.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And there's a much more appreciation of where you've come from, you know, experiencing, you know, businesses that aren't family, you know. And I remember just before Dad retired, he became my employee of my business, yeah. And I'll be honest and say that, you know, I probably treated him a lot better than he treated me when I was his employee.
All right,
Yeah.
be sure to show him this show then.
Yeah, hopefully he'll get to see it, absolutely.
Now, did you pay him a lot of money to work for you?
Well, I paid him well.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Did you, you grew up in Hawaii, I take it? I mean, all your experience pretty much here, so
Yeah.
you know the island pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely, born and raised in Hawaii, yes.
Very good. Did you find the process to be an easy one, transitioning up through the ranks and moving into the, I guess, the boss's role?
There has been its challenges. I remember I got licensed at the age of 27 as a general contractor.
That's pretty young, isn't
So
it?
yeah, I believe I was probably one of the youngest general contractors to ever get licensed in the state of Hawaii.
Congratulations.
And that was a challenge, being that you know, I had to really show the board of directors that I was worthy of a general contractor's license. So that was one of the challenges getting going.
When you say the board of directors, you talking about the regulatory board, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you actually have to get interviewed by the board before you get licensed?
I did. Yeah, I was one of them that did.
Wow, super. And Clarence, I guess, did you have any challenges as you've been moving up the corporate ladder, or?
Well, I'll tell you my biggest challenge, actually, you know, moving back from Hawaii, even though I was originally from Hawaii, one of the biggest challenges I had was actually moving back. Because by the time I had moved back, all of my connections were gone, right? So having to be able to build your network from scratch again in your hometown, right, is sometimes a daunting task. So my biggest challenge coming back to Hawaii was really going out there and having to market myself in, you know, what would seem to be your backyard. But, you know, being gone for so long and being disconnected from certain local culture, right? It almost makes you feel a little bit like an outsider, right? Until you're able to find its groove for you. And I'll tell you a funny story. When I first started working for a bank a long time ago, when I lived in Japan, right, we don't have, there's no terms for like a penny, a dime, a quarter, or a nickel, right? So one day we were in the vault, we were balancing the vault, and they were reading out the amounts to me. They were like, oh, we have so much in dimes, so much in nickels. And I remember saying, how much is a quarter? How much is a dime? Because I didn't use that terminology for like 3-4 years. So it's
Well,
been
I guess
interesting,
that sometimes the lingo tends to change over time, too. That's good. Well, and but you made the transition,
Yep.
and so you're doing well at Hawaii National Bank, and I guess, you know, you've been working closely with Chad on things.
Definitely, it's been a pleasure working with Chad, yes.
So, and I guess, you know, Chad is here, you know, at your invitation, which I'm glad he accepted. But he's got a good business going over there, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Chad, how your business is growing, prospering, and?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've started out with just my wife and I. That's where we started. And now we have about 15 employees, you know, in our company. So Hawaii National Bank has been an intricate part in helping our business to grow and to succeed. And, you know, Clarence has been, you know, a great help all along the way. And I'm glad to be banking with Hawaii National Bank.
Super, very good. And now you've got some children too, don't you?
Yeah, I have 2 girls. Actually, one is not a child anymore. She just made 18.
18?
This past Sunday. Yeah.
So she's on her own then?
Well, kind of, yeah.
Really?
Just like
Good.
almost, yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
she works real hard. She goes to school full time. You know, she's a senior in high school. She works after school. You know, she
Wow.
keeps good grades, and she works around the house and, you know, helps
So
out with.
she has that work ethic like you do.
Well, I don't know if she gets it from me or her mama. Yeah.
Or both.
We're both hardworking people, absolutely.
Very good. And any plans? Are they gonna get into the business at some point, or?
Actually, my oldest daughter wants to go into real estate. Yeah, she wants to be a real estate agent here in Hawaii. My younger daughter wants to go into sports medicine.
So, wow.
Yeah, so there's some college for that one. coming
Yeah,
up soon.
that's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So you, I guess having a good time with the business and the family and, do you guys ever get a break? I mean, you get to go anywhere, travel, do anything?
Well, for many years, people used to ask what I did for fun, and I said work, and what else work, But, it's definitely been, very rewarding to own your own business here in Hawaii.
Well, when you enjoy what you're doing, it's really not work all the time. I mean, you can actually have some fun doing it.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference. You don't have to punch that clock and force yourself to do something that you don't enjoy doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably one of the big reasons why people actually go out and start their own business.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what, you're gonna start your own bank pretty soon?
That's a very good question. That is a very good question, but the answer is no.
We won't tell anybody. Good. But you're also married?
Yes, I am.
And is your wife involved in the banking business, or is she
No,
doing?
actually, she is not. She works in Waikiki. She does marketing for a certain international tourism company there. She actually enjoys, like you said, she enjoys what she does. Just being able to get up, and because I live on the west side, and she lives with me on the west side, she has to make the drive to Waikiki every day. And you have to be very dedicated and love your job a lot to wake up and make that hour to 2 hour commute to work every day.
How long is your commute?
20 minutes.
Well, good for you. And I'm sorry for her.
Can't help it.
But you're right, it does take a commitment to do that. And not only is it coming in for an hour or two, but it's also driving into the sun.
That is correct.
It makes it tough.
And the traffic doesn't help either. So.
Is the rail causing any challenges for you?
Personally, it's way past where I live, so it doesn't come into a factor that much. Work-wise, though, I mean, it is because I'm out at the Pearl City branch. The rail is just coming up there on Cam Highway, so we have, just like other businesses in the area, we have noticed kind of a drop-off in people who used to go into the bank, which is okay because now there are a lot of other technologies that banking provides that kind of alleviates having to go into the bank as well. But just like any other business in the area, we've seen kind of the slowdown of people and the buildup of traffic around the Pearl City area.
Chad, has the rail created more business for you or less, or any impact at all?
I think the rail is a little bit different market. We definitely pride ourselves in the residential arena.
Okay.
So it hasn't impacted us very much at all.
Is there a big difference between residential and commercial?
Yeah, we've done a little bit of work with the federal government, which is considered somewhat commercial work. And yeah, I think the biggest difference is that we really enjoy that personal connection with the homeowner, making that interaction and making it just perfect for the customer. And in the commercial arena, it's more just following a spec book and making sure that everything's built the way it's supposed to be built.
Very good. Well, we're approaching a break, and we'll take a short break here for about a minute. This is Reg Baker, Business in Hawaii, and I'm visiting with Clarence and with Chad from Hawaii National Bank and from Dream Home Builders, respectively. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in about a minute. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Donna Blanchard. I'm the host of Center Stage here on ThinkTech Hawaii. Center Stage airs every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and of course you can check out our archives on YouTube or on ThinkTech Hawaii anytime you like. Why should you do that? Because this is an arts show that I believe is making a difference in lives. We talk with artists of various ilk. We talk with painters and writers, playwrights, novelists, poets, sculptors, dancers, you name it, directors, actors, of course. And we don't only talk about what people do, but we talk about how they do it. And my favorite part of the conversation, we talk about why they do it. And it's really common on this show to hear people say, wow, I didn't think about it that way. And it's very common to hear people afterwards who have seen the show say the same thing. And I hear all the time that people are inspired by the conversations that we have. So why don't you join us and be inspired too? That's Center Stage on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock. We'll see you center stage.
Aloha, this is Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker, and we're just back from our break. We're chatting with Clarence and Chad from Hawaii National Bank and Dream Home Builders. And we were just now getting into a little bit of a discussion on the industry itself and how the Dream Home Builders fit into that. Chad, what do you spend your time on these days?
Well, you know, like I mentioned previously, we spend a lot of time doing residential construction. And our motto is dreaming with you, building for you. And for us, we're really about bringing this dream that the customer has or that they had for many, many years. And it's our way to bring that dream to life. So we work with our customers from conception to actually completion of the project every step of the way, making sure that they have a great experience each and every step of the way.
And these projects, could this be just starting from scratch on a lot, or is this add-ons and additional renovations?
Yeah, a little bit of both. For a season, we've done so many interior renovations, kitchens, bathrooms, reconfiguring of the inside of a home. Aging in place is a big one.
What is that? Aging in
Aging
place?
in place, setting up a house for those that are more seasoned in your years to go ahead and...
That means old?
If you want to call it old, yeah, you can call it old. Red said old. But yeah,
me.
getting the house ready for them so that it's a little easier for them and their caretakers when the time comes for them to actually utilize those facilities.
Well, that's important. So that's a good point. I think that could be, with the aging demographics that we have, that could be a big new source for you.
Yeah, another real interesting thing, law just passed allowing accessory dwelling units on residential zone
I read about that.
on properties. So that's helping with a couple of things. Number one, to supplement a homeowner's income to help them pay for the property that they're living in. Also providing what they call affordable housing. Being that the housing market and the prices for, a residential home is pretty up there these days.
It's got to be cheaper to do a renovation or an add-on than it is to buy a new home.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And a lot of times you can probably use the existing equity in your property to go ahead and fund that new project or that new build. And a bank like Hawaii National Bank would be a perfect place to go to see if you can utilize that service.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if somebody came to you and needed to have some work done and they didn't have that financing already prearranged, you could refer them over to Hawaii National Bank and they can help out with that.
Absolutely.
And is that the kind of business you want to get into, Clarence?
Well, I mean, that's the business that we're already in as a bank. It's really helping, first of all, the business owners like Chad, and then also his customers. So, the everyday person on the street, I know Chad had mentioned, the model of the company was dreaming with you, building for you, right?
Yes.
And in that particular way, we're kind of alike in that, first of all, dealing with Chad's company, we're able to provide Chad with the necessary financial tools that he needs, provided him with a line of credit to help his business expand and grow, as well as, some commercial real estate for him to expand his business so that he can help with his current client base. And also it kind of extends out with just our relationships together and being able to not just network, but net weave, bring him into my other circles so that he's able to have whatever he wants to dream for his business. We can help him at least kind of get there, provide for it. As far as the consumer market with his customers, although, for the consumer market right now, there are certain regulations for consumer lending. One thing that we can do, of course, we can provide the financing, but one thing that we tell people is, of course, you can get approved for a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan. One thing to always look at is, the timing of when you need the loan as well, right? And of course, you got to keep your builder in the loop to let them know, my loan or my line of credit has been approved, but it still may take a couple of weeks before we can get the funds available.
Sure. But I would imagine that when somebody decides to do or explore the possibility of having some work done on the house, that doesn't mean that you can start on it right away. I mean, we got to do some planning, we got to do some architectural renderings, then we got to get it into the queue and get it scheduled. And so there could be a lag there of 30 to 60 days.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
which gives you time then to work with the bank to
Mm-hmm.
arrange for the equity loan or the financing for the job.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a coordinated effort. You guys have to work together on this to make that all happen.
Yes.
Very good. And so anybody out there that is interested in having this kind of work done, whether they have financing or not, they could just reach out to you. And how do they do that? Do you have a website? Is there a way to connect with you?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Our website is www.mydreamhomebuilders.com. And they can also call our office to go ahead and schedule an in-home consultation.
Right. And then I guess the next step, once they reach out and make contact, and they schedule a time to go out and meet with them and begin that process of pricing out what the work is going to cost.
Yes. And that's where we work hand in hand with the lending institution. Sometimes they require preliminary estimated cost just to see if it's worth it for the customer to go ahead and tap into their resources to go ahead and fund this project. So we work with the lending institution and the bank like Hawaii National Bank to make sure that the customer is okay, that they're coming in basically with the right design and the right budget.
And then, you can sometimes fit the design to the budget if necessary, because there may be caps to how much equity they have or how much the ability to repay is. And so sometimes you have to work with them to make sure that there's a good fit.
Yes, absolutely.
How often does that happen? Is that a normal?
Quite a bit, actually. We like to tell our customers that there's a builder for every homeowner, like there's a car for every driver. Just to make sure that the builder that they're choosing, that they can absolutely trust, because they're going to be disclosing some very personal information, which one of them is the budget that they want to spend for their project. And for us as builders, that's kind of our benchmark. That's where we look at and we say, okay, this is what you want to achieve. This is what you have to invest into your home. Let's see how much of it we can get, if not all of it. And then we help them with creating a priority list. Basically saying needs versus wants.
Yeah.
We'll start to take care of all of the needs first and see what's left over for some of the wants.
Now, do you find that sometimes the male and the female have different priorities and different wants? And
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The man wants to talk about where the big flat screen TV is going to go, while the woman wants to talk about how big her walk-in closet's going to be. And sometimes that walk-in closet encroaches into the man's TV space.
What do you mean sometimes?
So sometimes we got to go ahead and bring things back into perspective.
I just went through that process about
Did
6
you?
months ago.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think my wife won every one of those arguments.
That's usually the case. Yeah,
Smart man.
Yeah, but at least I got to keep my car.
there you go.
Well, good. And Clarence, I guess you have a pretty big mortgage lending operation at Hawaii National, so you've got the staff and the people in place that can jump right on this and help Chad out on some of these new customers that are coming in.
Yeah. One good thing about the bank, among others, is the fact that, as a lender, I'm still very hands-on, meaning that, although we get the application, I still work very closely with the applicant. It's not kind of scuttled away and, just kind of made to process. So I'm still a very hands-on lender. And that being so, if I'm in communication with other people so for example, the builder that the customer wants me to be in contact with, it really helps smooth out the process.
Good, very good. You mentioned something that caught my attention, and it's, and I forget the term you used, but it was the aging of the, age-ready or
Aging in place.
aging in place.
Yes.
What are some of the more common type of things that people will do, to make that happen?
Primarily, it's bathrooms. Primarily, it's a tub to shower conversion. It's expanding the bathroom, so if somebody no longer can walk and is in a wheelchair, that they have the proper turn radiuses within that bathroom space. So a lot of times it's reconfiguring the interior of a home to just go ahead and meet the needs of the customer.
And that means widening the doors and
Yes.
maybe even the hallway sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of that can be pretty big project work there.
Yeah, but if you look at it in the big scope, doing something like that to keep somebody as comfortable as they can possibly be for the longest possible time in their own home, to me would actually help with their physical condition.
Yes.
Well, physical and emotional.
Yes, yes, emotional, and as well as having family there
Yeah.
to help them, because who better to care for you than and your family.
Absolutely. And I think, again, to be redundant, it's also cheaper to make those retrofits, if you will, than it would be to go out and buy another home that had them already done.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the accessory dwelling units that I was mentioning about earlier, a lot of times children go off to college, they want to come back home to Hawaii, but buying a home on their own might be out of reach financially. So with the accessory dwelling units, you can go ahead and add on to your existing home, separate entry, separate kitchen, separate bathroom, in some cases separate laundry area.
But that could also be an ideal solution for the elderly parent that needs to have a special configuration for them to accommodate, you know, the walkers or the wheelchair, to have that accessory dwelling, you know, designed specifically for them.
Yes, absolutely. I am actually in the process of putting an accessory dwelling unit on my home. My mother-in-law is in her 80s. She's still very active, very healthy. So this unit's going to be a dual purpose. We'll rent it out for the season, and when mom needs to move in, it's all ready for her to go.
Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot here for a second, but I don't think anybody's gonna hold you to this. But if, assuming that you had the land and the lot that you had was able to accommodate it, to put a nice sized bedroom with maybe a little living area and a bathroom that was compliant with the needs of the elderly person, you could also put a little bit of a kitchenette in there too, or?
You can actually, with the law basically allows for a full kitchen in there. You don't have to have a wet bar. It's a full kitchen. Now, there is a disclosure that if you live in some areas where they have an association, that the association can actually supersede, their rules can supersede letting an accessory dwelling unit be built on your property.
Okay. So assuming that there wasn't any complications like that, what do you think the cost of a typical or nothing excessive, but just a standard type of accessory dwelling unit that would meet those requirements of the elderly? How much do you think something like that would cost?
It's such a new law that's been passed, and we're in the process of actually working out all those numbers into detail. But to give you a range, it'll probably be just under $100,000 to start, and then probably on the higher end, probably $250,000.
Well, see, but you know, and you compare that to the cost of a condo, or you know, even just a one-bedroom condo.
Yes.
You know, but you also get the benefits of being close to home, in an environment that you're familiar with, close to family members.
Parking.
Parking, I mean, yes, you can have easily accessible parking. I mean, we're talking about, you know, $100,000 or $150,000, you know, on the lower end, and you can't. That's a down payment.
Yes.
On a condo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful, and I guess Hawaii National Bank would be willing and able to help fund that and take care of that cost, assuming that all the pieces were fitting together.
Definitely, yeah.
Very good. So that's an option for some people to explore. And this is an area that you're going to be seriously focusing on in the future, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually are out to educate the public about the accessory dwelling units. We actually have a seminar that we are putting on this Saturday, excuse me, over at Homeowners Design Center. We already have 30 plus people registered, and we're going to educate them about what they can and cannot do.
And if anybody's seeing the show today and they wanted to go to that, they could register through your...
Through the website, or they can call our office and we can put them on the list.
Well, we're approaching another break. We'll continue this conversation when we come back. This is Reg Baker, Business in Hawaii. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Aloha, this is Alice V. Hagan from ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show is a bi-weekly show on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. We invite interesting people, entrepreneurs, fascinating leaders who contribute to the social economic well-being of our state. Please tune in to my show, Business Education Spotlight, ThinkTech Hawaii, bi-weekly, Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Aloha.
Aloha! How you doing? It's me, Angus McTech, wishing you to welcome and join us to see us on Hibachi Talk on ThinkTech Hawaii. Join my co-hosts, Gordo the Tech Czar and Andrew the Security Guy, every Friday from 1300 to 1345. We look forward to seeing you. We'll talk tech and we'll have some wee bit of fun. And remember, let your wing gang free wherever you be. Aloha!
Welcome back. This is Business in Hawaii with Reg Baker, and I'm here with Clarence and Chad, and we're talking about the renovation business in the housing market here in Hawaii. And Chad, we were just getting into a conversation about the accessory dwelling and how it's a perfect solution I think for a lot of people, if they've had elderly parents that need some special accommodations, it'd be a lot cheaper to have this add-on done than it would be to go out and buy a condo that would accommodate their needs.
Yes.
So, and this is becoming pretty popular in Hawaii, I hear?
Yeah, it's basically brand new. I mean, the law just got approved a few weeks ago, but there's a lot of interest that's taking place with these accessory dwelling units. People looking at making their existing home become more affordable by renting out the ADU, preparing for family members that are aging in place or have special needs, or for kids coming back from college. So there's multiple ways that this can benefit an existing family.
Now, the ADU, the accessory dwelling unit, that would be used, say, as a rental as opposed to a family member living in it. Any special financing considerations if it's a rental unit as opposed to a family unit?
Well, when we take a look at the ADU and how it's structured, first of all, you know, if we're going to take a look at the whole scenario, the whole picture, right? And then as we kind of dive into I think, you know, we're going to take a look at the whole situation, the whole scenario, before we can make a determination on, you know, how we're going to be structuring the type of loan, yeah?
All right, but if they wanted to, there would be the home equity line that they could establish.
Yes.
And once that's established, they could use that to do it for a family member or not.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, it sounds like it's got some real good potential for some additional business here in Hawaii for both the builders as well as for the banks. So this is interesting. What else does your company have in store for the future? What are you planning on doing in the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, in the next 5 or 10 years, like Clarence mentioned earlier, Hawaii National Bank helped us to acquire a facility that we purchased for our business. And from here in the next 5 years, it's just about expansion. It's about expanding, but expanding the right way. I always tell my team and my business partners that, you know, I don't want to sacrifice quality and service for growth. Quality and service is what has gotten us here. I believe that quality and service is what's going to take us into the future. So as we stay diligent in what it is that we're doing and stay faithful in what it is that we're doing, we have a really bright future ahead of us.
Super. Now, I know some people have big ambitions to have 200 and 300 people working for them, which really changes potentially the personality of that company and the role that you play in that company, as opposed to a smaller environment of, say, 20 or 30 or even 40, where you have more hands-on involvement. Where do you see yourself in that spectrum?
Well, I definitely don't see ourselves in the 200, employee spectrum. For me and myself and our organization, company culture is so important. We're a very family-oriented business. We're out to help families and the people of Hawaii. And we don't want to lose that. That's where we started, that's where we come from, that's where I'm passionate, about, is really reaching out and helping families. So I can see us as maybe, a 40-person company, 50-person company, probably at the most. But really, I don't think we'll reach, much larger than that.
Good, so it's almost like a concierge type of builder that you want to be, and keep it customized, keep it very personal, and be involved with the process.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. And I guess, Clarence, you're standing there to help him do that, whether he wants to hold at 40 or go to 400. I mean, you're ready to help him with that.
Yes. Well, the relationship has been really important between the both of us, and just knowing where he wants to go, right? We'll work out the details as he progresses. But I think part of being a good partner for Chad is being able to be ready and, at a moment's notice, knowing everything I know about him, we're able to act, rather quickly, yeah.
And that, you use the word partner. I mean, I guess it takes a team to make all of this work. So part of who's on your team, Chad, would be your banker. I would assume that there's an attorney out there somewhere, and maybe even an accountant out there.
Yes.
I mean, how do you find these people to be on your team?
Well, like I mentioned, company culture is very important to us. Even when we hire employees or we hire professionals, we look for those that fit our culture. Hawaii National Bank is a perfect example where they're all about their customer. Me being the customer, I know how important it is because I deal with customers all the time that it's important for me to interact with them, to talk with them, to see their vision and their dreams and see what I can do to help that. Hawaii National Bank is an intricate part in our success and bringing us here and taking us into the future because I know that they'll be there for me. That hopefully we've developed a track record and that, I truly believe that Hawaii National Bank is a bank that really stands behind the businesses that they represent.
Now, some of your clients, I would imagine, have the potential of being recurring clients or customers. I mean, you can do some work for them once, and then maybe a few years later, you can do some additional work.
Yeah.
So do you have many clients that you've had for a long time?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one client that we're on the 4th project with them. Another customer that we've did business with, funny story, we actually had a little boo-boo happen on their project. Where we're moving appliances in on one of the last days and we scratched their hardwood floors that they had put in.
Ouch.
So we ponied up, we made it right, we covered all the costs to fix all of that stuff. And now they're telling everybody, about our company. And, I truly believe that the character of a company is displayed not how well they do things, but how well they fix things when things go wrong. And for us, I chalk it up for advertisement, that, hey, this went wrong, but we fixed it. Customers totally happy with the project, and that's how we built our business.
Well, and that's, there's a cliche out there, and I'm not exactly sure how it goes, but every time you do have one of these boo-boos, it's an opportunity to really step up and do exactly what you've done.
Yes.
And to, show people how ethical and upfront you are.
Yes.
And you can't buy that kind of advertising. To have them go around town and tell everybody about that, that's a great testimony.
Yeah.
So congratulations. And I guess, although you may be a little bit younger, at least of me, but you're going to have some long-term clients too. I mean, when you've got customers come into the bank, you get to keep them for a while, or if you move to a different branch and get promoted or anything, do you lose that connection, or are you able to maintain that connection?
I've been through several branches already, and although I may not be the primary contact person for certain clients, I still maintain that that level of relationship, right? Anyone can call anybody, right? And people who I've built a relationship with, I'm happy to help anybody, right? Regardless of whether they're with another branch, or they're at the branch I am, right? And just being able to do those touches and work with them, no matter where I am, right, is just one of the benefits, and almost having that private banking type feeling, right?
No, that's
It's
good.
very important.
And I can really appreciate this because I've been doing my CPA thing for close to 25 years. And I've got some clients that I've had for almost 25 years. And you work with the same people, you develop that relationship, they become more than just clients, they become friends. And I've got some of these clients that invite me out to the house, for barbecue and this and that. And, it's a great relationship to have. And that's what makes it so enjoyable to go to work every day. And you get to interact and have these, friends as clients. It's great. Is your father still involved with the business?
My father is actually retired. Yeah, he's involved with fixing up his house now. Something he's neglected for many years because he didn't have the time, but now he has the time. And my mom is extremely happy that he's building her dream home.
Wow, very nice. Well, as they say, happy wife, happy
life.
Yes.
That's right. Very good. Well, with all this experience that you both have had and a very successful career for both of you, Chad, do you have any words of wisdom or any thoughts or takeaway for the audience that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I can say to the audience, those that are maybe just starting their business or those that are thinking about starting a business, is to just start. Start your business. I think a lot of times we spend so much time planning and thinking that it's not ready and it's not perfect. It will never be perfect. You're going to evolve along the way, You know, I'm on the 6th generation of the phone that I originally had. You know, so there's definitely proof to show that, you know, if somebody just starts, get the feedback from your customers and your clientele. Allow that to shape and mold your business into something great that will keep people coming back over and over and over again. Don't wait to get it perfect the first time, because if you do, you'll never start. You know, start your business and grow it from there.
I think that's great advice. I think, you know, perfection is maybe a target we all strive for, but we never, ever reach.
Yeah,
You know,
I like to tell people to don't look for perfection, look for progress toward perfection.
That's good saying. Very good. Clarence, how about you?
I think one thing that I always talk to my clients about, and one thing that I always say to new business owners or even business people that have been in the industry for a while, I say that, you know, you can't change what happens in the economy, right? Of course, there's going to be their ups, going to be their downs. You can't control that. But what you can control is who is on your team, right? And the people that you have on your team will help move you forward, regardless of whether or not it's a good time or it's a bad time. And the investments that you make, the decisions that you make now, is really going to greatly impact where you're headed, no matter what the future will bring.
Right. And I think it's important that, you know, those decisions be made with some intentions of carrying them out, but also they should be written in pencil, because sometimes
Yes.
things change. And you've got to react to that constantly changing economy. And in the building industry, I would imagine that the regulations tend to change from time to time.
Quite a bit, yes.
Yeah, and so you've got to be flexible and nimble and be able to respond accordingly. And that's going to be true in any industry, any business.
true.
I like to joke that, you know, the business plan is important. It's good to have one. It sharpens the focus, but it needs to be done in pencil,
Yes.
because it's
I
going
like
to be
that.
different. Yeah, very good. You know, and as far as, you know, your expectations for the industry, do you see it continuing to be as busy as it is now?
You know, I think seeing the amount of tower cranes that we have in Honolulu is a good indication of where the industry is heading. I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. There's going to be years before we build all these accessory dwelling units, you know, here on the island. So I definitely think that the future's bright, you know, for our industry. And as long as we can stay focused, as long as we can stay nimble, as long as we can, you know, adapt, you know, I think our business will do extremely well.
Are you finding all the labor you need, or is that a struggle?
Well, you know, for us, as I mentioned earlier, we like to look at those that fit our company culture. Finding that we just don't hire anybody because they have skill. We need to fit our company culture because we work so closely with the homeowner, and we need to interact that way and make sure that they're getting the same experience from the time they call our office to the time we give them the keys to the new home. So we've found a good group of people. We plan on keeping them, and we're always in search for great people to enhance our team.
Well, for any of your employees watching the show today, they're going to find great comfort in hearing that. So that's very good. You know, Chad, Clarence, I want to thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
It was
Very
very
welcome.
informative, and I think these accessory dwelling units may be a topic of another program down the road. So very exciting topics. Good time. This is Reg Baker, Business in Hawaii. We appreciate you tuning in today. We're live on livestream.com every Thursday at 2 o'clock, 2 to 3. And I sure hope to see you next week when we air on that Thursday at 2 o'clock. Thank you and aloha.